What's up, everyone? So, Mechee X. Well, first, let me just talk about this video. What I'm going to talk about with you today. Right now, there's a lot of talk about Jay Morrison. You know, and I'm not the type of guy that likes to sit here and talk about another dude. I'm not too crazy about that, especially when you're trying to put down another guy in order to elevate yourself. And I want to talk about that, but make some distinction here so you know I'm coming from this from a psychological and a business perspective, right? So I have a bachelor's in business and a minor in psychology. And yes, I'll share my transcript with anyone that doesn't believe that, you know, so I have credibility when I speak, right? So Mechee X recently did an interview with Tone the Closer, where he talked about his bad business dealings with Jay Morrison and his wife. Now, he's been hot on the internet talking about Jay Morrison. Same thing with another YouTuber who I will not name, who I subscribe to his channel. I like his channel. But when I look at his views, his videos about Jay Morrison, they tend to spike compared to his videos about everything else. So clearly, he knows what's working for him. He knows that saying Jay Morrison's name equals viewership for him. And that's fine if you want to roll like that, you know, but he's also profiting from it. So now he's talking about Jay's school, but he has a school also, which there's nothing wrong with having a class, but I don't believe in filling your seats by putting down someone else. To me, your credibility, your work, your confidence, what you have to offer, those things should speak for themselves. So anyway, what was interesting to me about this Tone the Closer interview that Mechee X did was that there's a point in that, and I'll put it in the bottom in the interview. The interview was great. I love how he puts up details, like he puts up his evidence. You know, he doesn't just sit there and ramble on and just shoot off at the mouth about how he doesn't like Jay. The man really shows you proof, or what you can see as his proof to his bad business dealings with Jay Morrison. But there's a part in the interview where Mechee just lets him go off. And it looks like he has somewhat of a psychotic break somewhere in there. Now, once again, I'm talking about this from a psychological perspective. So this is what I'm getting. And you can watch that clip. Maybe I'll include it, where he just goes on a rant, Tone the Closer, an emotional rant. And I always say, when you see someone come unglued, you're seeing the chinks in their armor. You're seeing where they're weak at, what their weaknesses. They expose themselves. The same way with this other gentleman I'm talking about, whose YouTube channel, he showed a rebuttal Jay Morrison did, where Jay Morrison just starts screaming, really, basically, out loud, and just, your fight is with God. He's just going off, and you could really see where this is starting to get to Jay here and here, because he became unglued. And then you start to see some of the desperation in his recent posts when he's addressing it. But then you see the prices of his classes are dropping. He's practically giving away the house for free. So you can see that this pressure that Tone, his investors are putting on him, is starting to show. And I tried to reach out to him to try to give him some advice and some feedback. I tried to reach out to Jay twice. Once a while ago, before all of this, maybe about 2 years ago. And where, rather than him answer me directly, he took a snippet from what I said to him and posted it on Instagram. He didn't put my entire post there, just a snippet, but thank God he blocked my name and everything so no one could see who I was. But he posted part of it so he could create, I think, a bad image of me, or make it look like that I didn't want black people to succeed. He totally took everything out of context and posted a little small piece, which I didn't like, but I'm not going to criticize the man for that. I understand, or maybe he took it the wrong way. So I'm not going to knock him. Maybe he took it the wrong way, and that's what he got from what I sent him. The second time around, I reached out to him recently and I said, listen, if you don't answer Tone the Closer and these investors, everything you work for is going to crumble. This man is going to end your career because he's destroying your credibility. And the next day he put that post with him sitting down screaming. So I knew he read the post. He didn't have to give me credit. I knew he read it just by that. You know, same thing with Boyce. I've said some things to Boyce, you know, and the next day he'll take what I said and post it, right? I'm not just saying that, you know, because I don't need I don't need the money. But back to this situation. So Jay did that, but this time I reached out to him and told him, listen, you need to do something because this man is really starting to create a movement. He's starting to light the California fire under his ass, under Jay's ass. So everything is good for Tone. I think that Tone should have just slowed down a little bit. He's been on enough channels because what happened is now when he went on Mechee's show, if you watch that interview, you could clearly see that there's something going on with him. Now, two things I think. I think that it could be that he's very frustrated with the situation, right? Actually, three things. I think it could be he's frustrated with the situation and he became unhinged and just went off on this rant, like a good two-minute rant that was not a good look for him, especially if you're supposed to be a level-headed businessman. You're supposed to be the people's champion. Then the people's champion doesn't come unglued. You never seen Muhammad Ali become unglued in an interview. You've seen Mike Tyson do it. And we know, you know, Mike Tyson had some emotional and psychological issues for a while. But anyway, the second reason I think is he realized who he was talking to. He was talking to Mechee X. If you know anything about Mechee X, she's more of like what you would call a street. She's from the streets. And this is no diss to her. And you know that when you're from the streets, there's a certain look that you have to keep for women. You have to look tough. So I think there's a part of him that felt like, wait a minute, I'm talking about Jay here. She probably think I'm a punk. So let me show her I'm thug. I'm about that life. And then he just starts ranting. But if you could look at her, you can see she saw the weakness there. You can look at her. If you freeze that and you see when he went on this rant, you can see she saw his weakness there because she looked like she wanted to laugh. The third reason I think is for the public. I think that he wanted to look tough for the public. And he went on this rant so no one would think that he's a punk. But yeah, I don't think the interview, he didn't need to do that interview. Or I think what Mechee could have did was ended that interview early, or when she put the interview out, edit that part out because it did not look good for him to go off on an emotional tangent like that. It did not look good. So that's my summary of that. But what I want to say about the whole Jay Morrison thing is, you know, I'm on both sides of the fence with that, you know, because as a business person myself, as a landlord, right, and having a contractor company, sometimes you don't have good dealings with customers. Sometimes, but protect yourself in your agreements and your contracts, which is what Jay did. There's nothing illegal about what he did. Unethical is one thing, but illegal, no. What he did, well, some of it you may feel is unethical because it looks like he took investors' money and maybe upgraded his life. But if I'm correct, his contracts, when people invest, it states in those contracts, on the paperwork, that once you sign up, there's a chance that you can lose your money. There's a chance that you might not get your investment back. And anyone that understands investing knows that there are times where you're going to invest in something. You know that going in, you may not get a return on your investment. You may actually lose that money. And they invested $500. I think that's the minimum. Now, should he have gone after someone that can only afford $500 as an investment, if that's all they had, I would say no way. No way. Because I've lost $500 on bad contractors or more. And I didn't jump on the internet. I didn't cry about it. Sometimes you try to go after them, but to me, $500, you know, that's nothing for me to waste time in court for. You know, I would just say, you know what, this guy's a jerk. I'll never work with this guy or this girl again, you know, and just move on. But for someone to be stuck on $500, that's someone who really did not have that money to invest and should not have been investing. So I think the best thing he could have done, I think the best thing Jay Morrison could have done or could do, him or his wife can do right now, is to hold a live Instagram press conference or just a live stream where they apologize. Own it and apologize. He needs to own it and apologize. Say, listen, I understand that a lot of you were expecting a return, but the truth is, I think I got in over my head with this, because he did. I think he didn't know what he was doing. I think his ego told him that he knew what he was doing, but he really did not. He did not. I don't know if he went to college. I don't know much. I don't know too much about his background, But I know just by how he was moving and who he took money from that he didn't know what he was doing. You don't have that many investors when you start a business. And that's why you have angel investors out there. Angel investors usually will act as a silent partner or sometimes a accredited partner, but they'll put up the bulk of the money for your venture. You may get 2 or 3 angel investors that could have given him that same money. It took him, what, like maybe 500? I don't know how many people he got, but I know it was a lot to just get together $10 million. Right? You have angel investors that invest more than that. Some people put up in the 100 millions. Right? He could have got that through athletes. I think through entertainers. I think he should have targeted people that had that to lose, that would not be blowing his spot up like this. But on both sides, the investors need to understand that they took the risk and that he might not be able to pay them their money back. It is what it is. It is what it is. But the best thing he can do is to go live and apologize. First thing he can do, 1, go live on Instagram. 2, apologize. 3, take ownership. And that's it. Take ownership of it and let people know, I do not have the investment. I do not have the funds to reimburse you. Leave it at that. Then file bankruptcy, which I think is the next move he's going to do. But right now, his credibility is slipping. If he doesn't do something now and own that, he's going to lose so much credibility that he won't be able to come back after that. If he doesn't end up on an episode of American Greed first, indicted by the FBI, and then end up on an episode of American Greed, which is where Mechee and Tone both said they think he's going to go. So just to summarize, look, I will never make a video where I just sit down and bash another guy. I don't do that, especially for someone like Jay, because a lot of the people that are criticizing him, they may be right in how they feel about how he's moving with his business and his business partners and how he hurts people according to them. But there was some underlying jealousy in there, whether they want to admit that or not. There is some jealousy in there. They're jealous because he's a good looking guy. He has a beautiful wife. He's very popular. He has a lot of followers. He's been doing this for a while, and his followers are so loyal. They're fanatical. They're not even fans. They're fanatical. What do I mean by that? Fanatical. Someone posted on his page, you look desperate. I see the desperation showing when he was trying to sell one of his recent classes for like $1 something. And she said, I see the desperation. And immediately his fanaticals call this person a hater. What do you talk about? Are you a body language expert? They got really upset and they started saying, go King J, King J, King. You see this thing with amongst people, and this is not a black-white issue. So it's not a black-white issue. This is a people thing. The need to worship someone, the need to find someone that we could put all our confidence in and all our trust in. I read that in Jay's followers' response, that they idolize him. King, calling this man a king, and ignoring all the other information that's out there. When you ignore the information and you have tunnel vision, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. You are someone that is into idol worship. You have self-esteem issues. You have leadership. You have daddy issues. And this is male or female. You're looking for a father figure. You're looking for a God figure, where you want to ignore everything else that's being said. And you want to you won't even stop to take it into consideration for 2 minutes. So yes, I think a lot of his fans are fanatical. And I think a lot of the people that are hating on him are jealous of that. Right or wrong, right? You can't take away the guy's magnetism, his gift for selling himself or selling the dream, because what people bought into, they didn't buy into the Tulsa Fund. They bought into Jay Morrison, the image of Jay Morrison. They bought into that. They remind people of the Obamas. So he came up on the coattails of the Obamas. So that image, and I know him and his wife, I know they followed that. I know they capitalized on that. They can't tell me otherwise, that they capitalized off of the Obama's image and how America fell in love to seeing this beautiful black power couple. They capitalized on that. And I don't hate them for that. That's smart. That's wise. But for the people out there who are hating, and I hate even using that term, but yes, hating is going on there. There's a lot of jealousy of that. And you find this sometime with social media. We have these influencers that take off. And then you have people who catapult their careers by doing these hate videos, and they get into this back and forth. As much as I like Candace Owens, she's aware of that. She's aware of the people's need to always see some back and forth between us. You know, there's this insatiable desire to see us go back and forth with each other. Where that comes from, I don't know. And this is why she went after Cardi B. Even Candace, she's another one who's excellent at marketing herself. You know, I don't care what people have to say. You know, I like Candace. You know, I like her. I can't say I like her as a person. I don't know her, but as far as her branding and how she markets herself, I admire that. You can't be in between with her. You either love her or you hate her. And I like that. And she knows who her target audience is. That's marketing. And rather than hate these people, sometimes you can learn a lot from them just by studying them. So anyway, I'm getting a call. I'm getting 2 calls here. I'm going to end this post. Like this video, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.